Well, let's discuss this now with Ros Pritchard, Director General of the British Holiday and Home Parks Association. They actually represent the UK's self-catering holiday sector, including glamping, camping and caravan and chalet parks. Ros, thank you for joining us on the Wake Up Call this morning. I've already heard from Rupert saying, well, look, I'd love to go to Greece. I don't think it's safe. I don't think it's feasible. I think it's going to be really expensive as well. I would just love a holiday in the British Isles, and I suppose a lot of people feel the same way right at the moment.
Yes, as they did last year. We're hopeful, actually, for the whole of tourism that the vaccine rollout works and that we are going to be returning to some sort of normality. But there's also going to be consumer confidence. But certainly we're hoping that we will be busy this summer with British holidaymakers and their dogs, because, of course, we're the holiday where you can bring the most important member of the family with you.
Absolutely.
But that's only once government has the confidence to open us up. So that we're all standing by for Monday's announcement from the Prime Minister, or at lunchtime we're hoping to hear from the Welsh First Minister, because we don't know when we're opening this year yet.
No, it's really problematic actually for me and my husband. So we've got leave to take because, as you can imagine, we've not really taken much this year. So we've booked, renews in April, so we've booked the last week of March. We would love to go somewhere self-catered, COVID safe, and spend a week somewhere in the British Isles. But as you say, we just don't know yet, do we?
We don't, but I think the odds of March are slim.
I know. Don't tell me
really
that. It's not good news to have on a Friday. When do you think, what's your kind of gut feeling on this? Easter?
I'd say April rather than Easter would be my best bet. And it depends on how governments do it. Last year, for example, in England, everybody opened on the 4th of July. But in Wales, they had a phased reopening and self-catering was in the first wave. But anything with shared facilities was 3 weeks later. If you listen to what the Prime Minister is saying now, he's talking about data, not dates, and phasing. So it could be that we have a gradual reopening. But as to when, that all depends on the numbers, doesn't it? And we don't want to reopen and you have to close back down again. The Prime Minister said he wants it to be irreversible, which I think is a really brave thing to say in 2021.
Yeah.
That's the hope. That is the hope.
Of course. Absolutely. Just there's a danger, though, isn't there? Because we're all waiting to find out. And then as soon as the dates are announced, everyone, I presume, is going to rush to book. So there could be a problem with supply and demand, if everybody's wanting to stay in this country. Or you might tell me, well, it's fine because fewer people will come from abroad. And then will that push prices up as well?
There is going to be a problem with supply and demand. When we opened last year with all our COVID security measures, for example, we had a 46% reduction in the number of pitches for tourism tents. That's an enormous reduction. We had a 12% reduction in the number of holiday letting units, the glamping and the caravans, which was about the changeover period. So you've got a reduction in provision. And if people can't go abroad or don't have the confidence to go abroad, you've got an increased demand for accommodation for tourist beds across the UK. And then last year we asked a lot of our customers to postpone rather than cancel. And many of them kindly did.
Yeah.
So that means they're getting a 2021, they've already got a 2021 booking in. So it's going to be interesting going forward. For the summer, the real hot spots. I know we have families that book the same pitch, for example, on the same park for the same week every year and have done generations. They've already booked. So some of the hot spots are filling up already for July and August. And then we have the sort of the unknown. Is it April? Is it May? When is it that we're going to open? Probably the best advice is to book when you think it might be safe, but make sure you book with one of the holiday companies giving you a COVID promise. That way you've secured your accommodation and everything goes wrong. They'll ask you if you would postpone rather than cancel, but if you want a refund, you're entitled to one. But those businesses that are on top of your legal entitlement giving you a promise, that tells you that they want to work with you.
Very, very sound advice, Ros. Listen, thank you so much for talking to us, and let's catch up again once we've got a bit more clarity about where we are going forward. For now, that's Ros Pritchard, Director General of the British Holiday and Home Parks Association, and lots of you getting in touch this morning and saying you are desperate for a holiday, and actually pointing out that it's a good idea to have a holiday in this country because it'll boost our tourism and our economy at a time when we need it most.